She cried hard while asking him to be a real dad. She said she raised the baby all by herself. That hit me like a punch I wasn't ready for.
I'm very angry, very frustrated. He's been neglecting her from day one since I got pregnant with her. And I'm just sick of it, and I just want him to take responsibility of something we both made. It makes me feel angry. I'm angry. She's without a father, you know, and it's terrible that she has to go through that, and I'm raising her on my own.
They both said they were intimate on her birthday. She called it angry, not loving or planned. Never thought I'd hear something that raw in a courtroom.
On Germany's second birthday, he wasn't staying with me, but he ended up coming back on her birthday. We had sex, unprotected.
It wasn't baby making sex. It was angry sex.
It's not about baby making sex. Sex is sex. Whether it's baby making, love making, hate making, sex is sex, and she's still here as a baby. It don't matter what type of sex it was unprotected.
The birth certificate didn't list him as the father. She said he didn't deserve the spot, not after what he did. Seeing that blank line left me weirdly cold inside.
So the first one is for Germany, Jacqueline, and Alan. Father's name's there. Second one, Xavier, Dantes, Tyrell, Jerome, Allen. Father's name is there. Third one, Italy, Lisa, Alexandria, Beckley. No father listed. You didn't even give her his last name.
He don't deserve it.
He said she wouldn't let him see the baby. She said he never tried at all. Felt like watching two sides of a war I couldn't stop.
Well, Your Honor, I have questioned Shamia about Italy. You know, I asked, could I speak to her? She say no. You know, I asked when she come, well, while us having a visitation every other week, we have swap and exchange at a police station. She don't bring Italy. She don't make Italy a factor to my life. She gave
You're denying her. Why bring her to see you? That don't make sense.
She gave Italy her last name.
His fiancée said another man might be the dad. A neighbor told her Beckley said so. My stomach turned when the yelling started.
That you heard Miss Beckley had been sleeping with another man.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where did you hear this?
From a neighbor of hers. A neighbor of hers contacted him and told me and him that she was telling another guy that he was the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
The judge said Allen is...
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Allen, you are the father.
Told you. You too, fiance.
Allen said this baby made number 7. The courtroom froze for a second, completely silent. I just sat there thinking how wild this really is.
How many children do you have
Your Honor,
total?
today, Italy makes 7, Your Honor.
Right.
I have took care of every last one of my children.
Because I see a man who
wants
to do the right thing.
for my baby.
That's
and for
what
sit
I
here
mean.
and come here today and see her talk about me like this, and for me to get put down for having 7 kids, as hard as I go for my babies, I would never.
Ms. McBirth called the mom trash, trouble, and trifler and said the baby was way too white. She showed a picture as proof, certain he wasn't related. That moment hit me harder than I expected.
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. She, as a matter of fact, I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son or any member of my family at all.
This is a photo of your son and the child in question?
Right.
Ms. Jackson believed in her relationship, but his family mocked her without mercy. They said she was just a snack, not a real partner. I felt secondhand shame. I wanted to disappear too.
Were you in a committed relationship?
I thought we was.
You did. Was he the only person you were intimate with during that time?
Yes.
DNA right here has been in our life. She's never was a girlfriend. You are a vampire. You are just a fly-by-night. We didn't know anything about you. He's been in a relationship for 10 years.
And those are my grandchildren.
For 10 years. So all she basically was for him was a snack cake on the side of his meal.
They claimed the baby couldn't be family just because of his skin. They said he had the wrong features for their bloodline. I couldn't believe how they ignored science and relied on looks.
That child is not my son's baby, period.
African American, you know our children come in all colors, shade.
Elijah
She told me
very
he wasn't.
white.
She told me she didn't know who the father was. She's changed her story up different times about who's the father. I asked her, I said, okay, this is my brother's baby. She said, yes. I said, do you know or do you think? She said, I think.
Ms. McBirth yelled that she was done with surprise babies showing up. Then someone said the mom threw an adult party that police shut down. It didn't feel real. I almost laughed from shock.
I'm sick of all these little hookers trying to say my son is the daddy. I get babies dropped off here, dropped off there. I'm sick of it.
But
it stops today. Because that baby is not my son. That's a lie.
First of all, she's a liar because you just had a wild sex party that got shut down by the police station last week.
Hello.
Oh, ma'am.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Holes in this
That
house.
is not
Okay, hold
true.
on.
Judge Lake showed a sweet photo of a kiss between father and child. Ms. McBirth said it made her want to vomit. I couldn't believe how cold someone could sound about a baby.
Like your son is kissing the baby. It makes you want to
It makes you wanna throw up.
Son to be kissing an innocent child?
Because it's not his.
It doesn't matter, really, if he's showing the child love.
It's
If your brother is sleeping with her and not using protection, couldn't he possibly be Elijah's father?
You know
No,
what?
not in this case.
Like the
no,
old saying goes,
no.
mama's baby's papa's maybe.
They argued about nose shapes like it was official proof of family. Everyone kept repeating, "He doesn't look like us," again and again. I couldn't stop cringing. It felt sad and ridiculous.
He don't look like nobody
All
I
my
know.
grandbabies don't have a bridge on their nose. That
like
little
my
boy
mom.
got a bridge. My grandchildren all look alike.
And you're saying none of those match?
None of those
He has
match.
all of his
He doesn't
children
look
alike.
nothing like my son.
All of his
Not a
kids,
thing.
they look alike. His youngest two, his youngest daughter and his son, the people think that they're twins because they look identical.
She tried to sue for $1,000, saying she was called a deadbeat, but she brought no proof, not even a screenshot. I wanted to hide from the secondhand awkwardness. This was painful to watch.
He going around telling everybody, well, we're deadbeats. We don't do nothing for the baby. How am I supposed to do something for a child that I don't know is mine?
But
Other
what
girls.
proof did you bring to court that
What
these
proof?
statements occurred?
If I had my phone, I'd pull up the Facebook where she.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I want
We
to be
need-
respectful about you guys, and I never will because I
First of all, you on a 5, I need
for
you on a
you
3.
guys as his,
You're on a 5,
as
take
his
it.
parent.
Ladies,
The test said Mr. Hughes is, I couldn't move. I didn't expect the truth to hit like that.
pertaining to 2-year-old Elijah Jackson and whether Mr. Hughes is the father. Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah's father.
Mr. Butterfield looked straight at the judge and said the baby was his. He remembered his ex saying, "Thank you for the gift," which he later realized meant the child. Felt like my stomach dropped to the floor.
Mr. Butterfield, you've summoned your ex-girlfriend, Ms. Bracknell, to paternity court to prove that you are the father of her 2-month-old daughter, Cara. You say she's denying you are Cara's dad because she's worried her family will be torn apart when the results prove you are the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bracknell said she had no idea she was pregnant when she left. She blamed her irregular periods and said she never liked doctors anyway. Couldn't wrap my head around how she missed something so big.
When did you find out you were pregnant?
Honestly, I didn't find out. I'd say 3 months after I did move out of his house because I was having irregular periods, so I just let it go for a minute. I'm not really a doctor person. I don't.
So you
keep
didn't go
up
to the
doctor
doctors for how long?
And
So what you're saying is when this relationship ended, you didn't know you were pregnant?
no.
Butterfield said they kept sleeping together after the breakup, even giving the exact date. He said she called from work for quick meetups in secret spots. That kind of detail made me sit back in disbelief.
Oh, because honestly, we were sleeping together after that, all the way up until October 8th, the last time we had sex. Because I remember, I can take a lie detector test if you want to prove it.
So you
up in the
said
mountains, up in the hills. You don't remember that, right? Asking me for money for gas so you can go see him.
Yeah, I so asked you for money.
Mr. Dallas brought a calendar and used it to prove his point. He claimed she left the ex in August and was only with him in September. Didn't know what to think with both stories clashing like that.
So this calendar outlines
August
the
when
dates
Mr. Butterfield split it up.
when the relationship with Mr. Field and Ms. Bracknell ended and when she came back to you. Cara was conceived in mid-September and she was born in June.
Yes, ma'am.
And she ended the relationship with Mr. Butterfield at the end of August, am I correct?
Butterfield found out about the baby through Facebook and a photo from a friend. He never got a message or warning, just a surprise from the internet. Made me feel sick just imagining that moment.
That's a Facebook post that they posted on Baby Was Even. That's before I even knew.
It
And then
says, this
that's
little
the-
girl is ready.
The only thing I got was a text message from of a friend saying of her sister holding my daughter. Nothing.
There's no
She
reason
hid all
for
of her
it.
pregnancies. She even hid the one from her
no, I
youngest son,
didn't.
Carson. She hid from him.
No, I
He
didn't.
wasn't even at.
He accused her of cheating with an ex on his birthday. Said she always runs back to old boyfriends when things get messy. That was the kind of moment that makes your chest tighten.
She cheated on me on my birthday.
I did not cheat on you.
She was gone with her ex on my
it
birthday,
dramatic.
and then come crawling back after that.
She was gone with Mr. Dallas or somebody else?
Somebody else. There could be more than one person
No.
that she's been with.
No, it's not true, Your Honor.
Really?
Butterfield said if the baby was his, her name would change and he'd get visitation. She laughed right in his face and refused without blinking, left me stunned and full of secondhand rage.
And if in fact it's determined today that she is your biological child, what are your intentions?
I don't want her back. That's anyway. I want to be in my daughter's life, and yes, the name will be changed.
No, it ain't being touched.
It doesn't matter because she's not yours. I know 100%.
And his name will be off the birth certificate too.
He was there through the whole pregnancy.
Oh, because
every single
I couldn't
time
be.
we
You
got
did it.
back together, because we did split up. We had our times. I had postpartum.
The judge read the DNA results and revealed Butterfield was
It has been determined by this court. Kara's biological father is Mr. Butterfield.
What did I tell you?
Teresa said Jeremy smiled when he heard about the baby. She said he even rubbed her belly like he was happy. I pictured it in my head and didn't know what to feel.
He came to my house and knocked on my door. He was with his friend. He came in and I had my friends there. I heard you was pregnant. I'm like, yes, I'm 2 months. He started smiling, putting his hands on my belly. Now, during the time that I was pregnant, he was coming over there, but he had stopped when I was like 6 months. He had stopped coming over my house.
Your Honor.
For some reason, I don't know why.
Teresa showed a photo of Jeremy holding the baby, smiling wide. He said he was just looking for family features. That made me feel weird. I wouldn't hold a baby like that if I had doubts.
He came to Chicago to see my son. He asked me to take a picture of him and his son and put it on Facebook, and that's what I did. Tristan and Mr. Boston.
Mr. Boston and Tristan.
Yeah.
Were you holding the baby just because, or were you taking a picture with your son?
I wanted to see what part of me is in this child.
Teresa admitted she slept with someone else after Jeremy. That changed everything she said before. I felt like the whole story just cracked open in front of me.
Because for the period of time when I found out I was pregnant, the time adds up. He was the only man that
No, I was not. You was intimate with other guys way before.
No, I was just intimate with one
They
person.
was telling me her name.
After him, I was
Oh, how
only
you know
intimate
her?
with one
How you
guy.
know her? How you know her? Too many of them.
Well, who says he was intimate with you as well.
Mr. Gregory entered and said he also slept with Teresa. When she told him about the baby, he blocked her. I froze because it felt like everyone was running from the truth.
She texted me on Facebook and told me she was pregnant. I never talked to her again. Like, deleted everything. So I blocked her. So I blocked her.
You got a message on Facebook that she was potentially pregnant by you and you deleted her?
Blocked it.
He actually blocked me, Your Honor, because he had went back home to his girlfriend and he thought that I was gonna break up a happy home.
Teresa's friend said both guys were around, but at different times. She said Jeremy left for 2 weeks, then Gregory came. That shook me. I didn't expect her story to back both of them.
Who do you believe is Tristan's biological father?
Mr. Boston. I was living with Teresa the whole time.
So when he was saying he wasn't really coming over there that much,
was.
and he was sleeping on the floor.
He was sleeping in my bed. When she was saying him, he was the only man. They broke up. They weren't talking for like 2 weeks. That's when she started messing with Mr. Gregory.
Teresa put Jeremy on child support out of revenge. She said she had his info, so she used it. I couldn't believe someone would play with something that serious.
No, I put Mr. Boston on child support.
Why would you arbitrarily choose Mr. Boston and put him on child support when you knew Mr. Gregory could also potentially be a father?
At the time when I conceived, I didn't talk to neither one of them, but I had Mr. Boston information as far as his birthday, his social security number, and everything.
The DNA test said Jeremy's, wow, I feel like someone unplugged the whole courtroom.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Boston, you are not the father.
Mr. Mitchell looked into her eyes and calmly said, if the baby wasn't his, the wedding was off. His words didn't shake, but they cut deep like a knife in the chest. I felt the tension crawling up my neck and didn't know how to breathe.
You say nothing would make you happier than finding out you are London's biological father. But you are in court today believing there is no way you are. You say if the DNA results prove you are not the father, next month wedding is off.
She quietly admitted she already had a boyfriend when Mr. Mitchell came to live with her family. One kiss led to more, and things turned into something she never planned. Hearing that made my stomach twist. I wasn't ready for that truth.
Were you single at that time?
No, Your Honor, I had a boyfriend at the time.
He moves in, and then what happens?
After about 2 months of him living with me and my family, we were sitting on the couch one day just talking, and he kissed me. Told him, I have a boyfriend, we can't do this. And he just kind of shrugged it off and said, okay.
So at that point, Mr. Mitchell was just your friend?
Yes, Your Honor.
With no shame, she said her ex never knew she was sleeping with someone else. She lived under the same roof as Mr. Mitchell while still dating another man. That kind of double life left me frozen in place.
but you're still in a relationship with this boyfriend at the time. Am I correct, Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what was that situation like?
He never found out, and to this day, he still doesn't know.
He does not know to this day that you were also sleeping with Mr. Mitchell.
Right, Your Honor.
Was this just a one-time thing when you all ended up having sex, or did it continue?
It continued.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor.
She tried to explain who the father was by saying she had more intercourse with one than the other. The judge stopped her and said, "Numbers don't make babies. Timing does." I wanted to look away because that excuse made everything worse.
When I was about 6 weeks, I had went to the doctor and confirmed that I was pregnant. And then on my second doctor's appointment, I asked, do you have an estimate of when I conceived? Because I can't tell you the exact date. And she told me I conceived somewhere between October 3rd and October 22nd. And I got to looking back at the date, and I had had sex with Mr. Mitchell more times than I had sex with my ex. I had sex with Mr. Mitchell about every day and only once or twice with my ex.
She said she didn't write any father on the birth certificate because she wasn't sure. That blank space showed she had doubts from the very beginning. I couldn't believe she was still unsure even after giving birth.
Do you sign the birth certificate?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. At the time, I was confused as to who the father was, so I didn't want to put anybody on the birth certificate except myself.
You don't put anyone on the birth certificate, but you're still there for the baby, Mr. Mitchell. The baby starts to develop, and you start comparing features.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell said he loved the baby like his own and had been there since the start. He fed her, held her, stayed up at night, and never left her side. I could feel his heartbreak in my chest like it was mine.
I love her to death. She's amazing.
She's amazing, you said.
Yes, Your Honor.
He has been there from day one. He takes care of her, he watches her. He has become so attached to this baby, and he has treated her as if he's known all along that she is.
His cousin spoke up and said she believed Ms. Lohman was using him for stability. She thought Ms. Lohman picked Mr. Mitchell just because he would do the right thing. That made me question everything I thought I knew about her.
I believe that she knows that Jonathan is going to do what is right. He loves the baby, and he is going to step up and be the father that she needs. And I feel like because she knows that is why we are in the situation we are in.
The judge opened the envelope and the courtroom held its breath. Then she said the words that shattered everything. Mr. Mitchell is...
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Mitchell, you are not the father.
Ms. Lima stood in front of the judge and calmly admitted to having an affair with a married man. The courtroom felt frozen as people waited for someone to speak or move. It was like the words knocked the air right out of me.
Ms. Lima, you admit to making a huge mistake and hope it doesn't affect your baby Christina. You had an affair with Mr. Anderson, who is married, and believe he's your daughter's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
She believed she was his girlfriend for a year until a woman messaged her online. That woman turned out to be his wife, and she had been married to him for 10 years. Hearing that left my hands cold and my heart racing.
A few minutes later, his Miss Anderson, he inboxed me and say, like, who are you? So I'm like, well, I said, I'm his girlfriend of a year, so who are you? She was like, well, I'm his wife of 10 years, Not know he married, he did not show any signs of marriage or anything.
Mr. Anderson, was this true?
I'm just sorry, Your Honor. I just want to say I'm sorry to my wife and my family and my kids.
Anderson said it was only one night, but Lima told everyone they saw each other every weekend. She even went to his house and remembered what the inside looked like. A heavy feeling hit me, like truth was punching through the silence.
It was a one-night stand.
You never saw her again?
Never saw her again.
Ms. Lima?
That's wrong, Your Honor. Seen each other for 2 years, every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays.
Thought he was working during the week?
Not really, because I went to his house numerous of times, but...
Excuse me, you went to his house numerous times?
Yes, times, and I told her what was in her house, and I described it to her.
My God. Hold on.
Lima revealed she was also with another man at the same time. She didn't use protection with either, and suddenly everything felt even more confusing. The room spun, and something inside me felt like it dropped.
So you did sleep with another man during the window of conception during that?
Correct.
And you were sleeping with both men without protection?
Well, I got in touch with him later, we met up and we had sex again when I was around 4 months pregnant.
She disappeared. Your Honor, I haven't heard from her in months.
So when she was 4 months pregnant, you didn't meet up with her?
While she was 4 months pregnant, Lima said they slept together again. Anderson stayed silent, and that silence said everything louder than words. My breath got stuck halfway, and I didn't even notice.
Miss Lima was pregnant.
I didn't know, but we did sleep around a couple times.
So you met up with her again when she was pregnant, and you did sleep with her again. I'll take that as a yes.
Ms. Anderson shouted through tears that they had 5 kids together. She said her whole life was falling apart in front of strangers. That moment cracked something deep in me. I could feel her pain.
Once we messaged each other, I asked her for her phone number because I want to talk on the phone. And when she was telling me the things that she was telling me, my whole world it caved in. Like, are you? And just the
And children?
5. Come on, like.
At what point did you hear there was potentially a baby?
She told me it was a baby.
Another man named Cameron entered the courtroom and shared he had also slept with Lima. He wasn't sure if the baby was his and looked completely lost. My heart pounded like I was the one waiting for answers.
Well, the situation was when I first met Mrs. Lima, we met at a gas station come February, and then in March we had a sexual intercourse. I found out about 3 months later she was already about 2.5, 3 months pregnant when she told me that she was pregnant.
And she told you herself?
Yes, Your Honor.
Lima said Anderson brought his kids when they met, and she saw the inside of his house. She described things only someone close would know. A cold chill spread through my whole body without warning.
How did you see them?
He bring the kids around me, like when we meet up or when he give me money, like he'll bring the kids.
Give her money? Are you serious?
That is not.
That's how you feel.
He bring the kids with them?
Yes.
And
That's how you feel.
who did they think you
That's
were?
how you feel.
I'm not sure who they thought I was.
That's how you feel.
But
who is she? They
in front of
auntie?
them.
Who is she? Your
That is not
cousin?
true.
Wow.
Do
I really
you
hope
want this
that-
to be your child's father? Or do you want this to be your child's father?
The judge opened the DNA results, and the room went completely silent.
Is the father of 1-year-old Christina. Mr. Scott, you are not her father.